Sup folks, Ray Poopton III back with another COD Zombies video. Today I have a complete guide on getting Borealis and Bioluminescent camos and completing the Completionist, also known as the Mastery, challenges. It will include a breakdown of the whole Zombies camo system, plus a ton of tips and tricks to leveling weapons, farming specific enemies, known bugs and workarounds, and unlocking all the camos as quick as possible, and without wasting too much of your time. Special thanks to the COD Zombies subreddit and Reddit users Catchaway account and Hellraiser Gains for their informative posts on the camo grind. Chapter selection is integrated into the video for easy navigation. MWZ has its own set of earnable camos in Modern Warfare 3. Every weapon from Modern Warfare 2 and 3 has from 5 to 8 earnable camos inside Modern Warfare 3's zombie mode. They consist of base camos and 4 completionist camos. Melee weapons and launchers have just one base camo to earn, while the other weapons have 4. You can access the zombie camos in the Zombie Mastery camo section in the Gunsmith. The base camos unlock at specific weapon levels, and the challenges for each vary by weapon. They are mostly just getting a specific number of kills in different ways with the weapon. All the completionist camos must be done in order. The 2 golden completionist camos can only be started once the base camos have been earned. In order to begin the completionist camo challenges for the camos after the 2 golden camos, you must have a specific number of the previous camos unlocked. There is a separate camo grind for Modern Warfare 2 weapons, so the number of camos unlocked do not stack for both Modern Warfare 2 and 3. Unfortunately, it's not backwards compatible, so you cannot use guns or camos from Modern Warfare 3 in Modern Warfare 2. As you earn each completionist camo, you unlock a weapon mastery challenge. The mastery challenge requires you to kill a specific number of zombies with a mastery camo equipped. You can access the challenges in the Zombie Weapon Mastery Challenge section on the far right of the Zombies Camo tab in the Gunsmith. For Golden Enigma and Golden Ivory, you need 300 kills. For Zircon Scale and Spinal Husk, you need 600. Serpentine and Arachnida is 900 kills. And Borealis and Bioluminescence is a whopping 1200 kills while using the camo in Zombies. To keep the camo equipped when packing or using PAP crystals, simply punch the Pack-a-Punch machine. When successful, it will turn green and you are safe to PAP. Weapon Mastery challenges each earn you both a calling card and emblem. When you complete all 4 Weapon Mastery challenges, you'll get the Zombie Completionist weapon charm for that weapon. This all leads me to my first tip. This is a long grind. Find a way to keep it fun for yourself. That's the whole point of this gaming thing, right? You don't have to rush this, but for days you want to, I have all the tips and tricks for being as efficient as possible later in the guide. It may help simplify things to use a camo tracker. There's a good one on wzhub.gg, which also has an app, and there's a spreadsheet by Reddit user Galactical Wolf. Both are linked in the description. Second general tip: when grinding camos, have self-revs and play solo. This way you can keep all the kills for yourself, choose which contracts to grind, and not bother with all the communication a successful co-op camo grind would require. Not to mention the inconvenience you may cause others of having a teammate off doing their own thing when they need help. If you're in need of ether tools, check Infected Strongholds, and if you need mods, check Nests. Last general tip before we dig into the nitty-gritty: working on 2 weapons at once is often wise, especially if one is close to done. Loading up and spawning in takes time. Make the most of every game. The fastest way to level guns is multiplayer, unfortunately. Playing an objective-based game mode on small maps maximizes XP earned per minute, but if you would rather eat chalk, then stay tuned to this chapter. There's a few ways to speed up the weapon level grind in Zombies so you can begin the camo challenges as soon as possible. One is obviously double XP. Use tokens and take advantage of double XP weekends and events. That said, they seem to have capped the XP earn rate to 10 to 14 levels with double XP tokens, 5 to 7 weapon levels without tokens. Yes, that even includes during double XP events. You just get there quicker. After this, the earn rate slows drastically. If going for the most levels in one game, it can be best to call it quits once you hit that cap, or head into the Dark Ether or a story mission to reset the cap and keep it going. You can also use deadbolt turrets to level your weapon. The kills it gets rack up XP for whatever weapon you have out. There's mini turrets in the red zone, and the Act 1 story mission has a bunch of turrets to use, 8 guaranteed turret chip spawns, and the zombies will spawn infinitely. You can also come to this choke point on the docks when out of circuits and just farm kills. There are ammo depots close by. Completing contracts gives you extra weapon XP, and escorts seems to boost the amount a bit. Another thing that amps up XP gained is simply visiting points of interest, aka POIs, so you just keep moving and have an active game where you travel far and wide. Doing delivery contracts can hit 2 birds with 1 stone. Just make sure you have the weapon you're leveling out and not your secondary. Only the weapon equipped gains this XP unless you just have one weapon and have out fists. The camo challenges all require you to farm kills. Some involve dispatching mini-bosses, some regular zombies. There are ways to optimize time spent by taking advantage of certain game mechanics. The easiest way to farm standard zombies is exfils. Pop the exfil flare and mini zombies spawn in that general area. From there you can go to town, train them into a bunch, or move away and let them funnel to you in a line. Extra points if you funnel them through a choke point, lining up some heads for collateral damage. You can also farm zombies by doing contracts that spawn them. This is extra beneficial when still leveling a weapon while simultaneously working on the camos you have already leveled to. Each spore exposed spawns a group of zombies. By the time you've opened up all 6, it spawns a nice large horde. Outlast contracts are good too, and spawn zombies infinitely so long as you run back in to keep the progress going. So you can effectively just camp an Outlast contract, running out to stop progress before it completes, and back in when the spawn's slow. Lastly, raid stash contracts spawn zombies too, and can be milked just like Outlast contracts by leaving the area and returning once the progress bar moves back down. There's a few ways to spawn random mini-boss that I wanted to cover before we go into spawning specific ones. First one many of you will know, HVTs. It is completely random what you'll get though, so if you don't get lucky, cancel the contract and try again, or try one of the more specific strategies I list later. Second one involves tier 2 or 3 Outlast contracts. Every time you get the progress bar to 55%, a mini-boss spawns. If you leave and let it drop below, then go back in until it hits 55 again, another one will spawn. You can spawn tons of mini-bosses, and this is probably the fastest way to spawn them. Last tip, there's a radio for the chessboard Easter egg in the shack on the top right of the map behind the military base. When interacted with, it will spawn a random mini-boss and some zombies that can help you get started on a camo. And tier 1 mini-bosses, especially mimics and disciples, are a rarity. Manglers are plentiful in Urzikstan, even more so if you know how to spawn them. Manglers spawn in exfils in tier 1 and 2, and they also spawn around 3 during escorts, and also during tier 2 and 3 outlasts and raid contracts. You often get a mangler on the tail end of clearing infected strongholds, and obviously, as I mentioned, you have a chance to get one as an HVT. Final exfil has an insane amount of manglers as well. Disciples spawn at tier 2 exfils and randomly in tier 2 and 3. You will get 2 or more from each tier 2 and 3 escort contract. They also spawn during tier 2 and 3 outlast contracts and can spawn for HVT contracts as long as you're not in zone 1. Be warned though, with health added from the HVT contract, the disciple is often the hardest enemy to kill. Be strapped. As a last resort, they also spawn a lot of them at final exfil if you're around for that or need a few more before you leave the game. The crafty mimics hide in each infested stronghold, disguised as or mimicking random objects. Tier 1 strongholds have 1 mimic, and Tier 2 strongholds contain 2. They can also be found randomly in Tier 2 and 3, and may spawn during Outlast as well, and again can spawn as an HVT. Dogs spawn everywhere, but tier 1 outlasts seem to have a heavy amount. I've seen them spawn from all the zombie spawning contracts though. You can also just drive around until you see them, as they are much more common than mini-bosses. Mercs are some of the most dangerous enemies in Urzikstan, so if you're looking for the easiest fight, tier 1 camps are your best bet. If you're looking for speed and are kitted out, the Warlord fortresses have the heaviest numbers out of anything. If that's too much, the strongholds have a good amount. Once you breach it, a chopper carrying more comes, and it's much more predictable and a contained fight. And if you drill the safe, another reinforcement chopper comes for even more easy kills. First, for camo specifics, I want to go over bugs. In Modern Warfare 3, certain camos have been known to just not track. Sometimes there's workarounds, other times it's something the devs need to address and it blocks your progress. For instance, currently the camo challenge get 20 kills without reloading 10 times won't track. To progress weapons with that camo challenge, we will just have to wait till the bug is patched out. For the camo that requires 20 kills without getting hit, you must get hit in between streaks or only the first one will count. So every time you see Jackrabbit, the call out for 30 kills without taking damage, let a zombie hit you, rinse, and repeat. The easiest place to do this is a tier 1 exfil. Pop the flare, get some distance, and let them funnel towards you. Keep an ear out and check your 6. Alternatively, you can do a raid stash where you can camp the roof and all enemies come from one direction. Upgrade the gun till it melts in the tier you're in. In Zone 1, an ether tool or pack crystal will usually do the trick. It doesn't take much. Board up 10 zombies using a zombie spawning contract or exfil site and unload. If you're having trouble, find a choke point and line up heads to get max damage from each bullet. Use the attachments to your advantage. Put the biggest mag possible on and maximize damage output. Camping roofs and other places with a safe 6 can help massively, as you can calmly aim straight ahead and fire straight at the heads as they climb up the ladder or funnel into the choke point. This challenge is fairly easy when you equip armor-piercing rounds for extra bullet penetration power and use choke points to line up your horde. Use an exfil or contract to spawn a horde. This challenge is easiest at an exfil and with decoy grenades. Extra points if there is an ammo depot nearby, and at a tier 1 exfil where the zombies have low HP. The best field upgrade for this is the energy mine, as it needs to be after the field upgrade is used, and many others have a duration of effect to wait out before the kills track. Just hoard them up, pop it off out of the way, and go to town. The Gold Mastery Camos, the first in the set, require you to get 100 kills with the weapon and then exfil. There's 2 things to mention when it comes to this. One is the kills gotten in the game before unlocking the camo challenge count. So if you just had one base camo left to do, finished it, and it required you to get 100 plus kills, you're done. Exfil and you will unlock the first mastery camo as well. Second thing to mention is non-Urzikstan exfils, like exfilling from after a round in the dark ether, don't currently count as an exfil for the Golden Mastery camo. They may fix this, and I hope they do, but I wanted to mention it and save some folks some time wasted. For Zircon Scale and Spinal Husk, you can use a pack crystal to start the kill count right away when you infill. If you run out of time, kills in the dark ether and story missions also track for this camo. If you have guns at different stages in the Mastery camos, save the golden camos that require exfilling for when broke. When you have an excess of cash from tombstoning or a stash of pap crystals, work on the camo requiring 300 kills while it's pack-a-punched. But that about wraps up this guide. I hope it helps. Peace!